Does everybody hear that in the back?
Yeah, he's working from how do I doing this with Reservoir Dogs, and then there's this, and there's Reservoir Dogs, and Reservoir Dogs don't have much of a budget, and this has a more of a budget. Well, I mean, like the bottom line was, frankly, it wasn't that much different. They were both situations where the play is the thing. I had the actors, we rehearsed them to a fairly well. They knew their material, they were all really excited about being there, and two of them were the same guys. And they were really, really excited. What the extra money bought me was 70mm and being able to go in Colorado and shoot with like really good weather and really locations as opposed to faking it in Fresno. Yeah. All right.
You had to freeze the set, right?
Yeah.
In order to get the fog coming out of everyone's mouth.
Yeah,
It's like 30. You're working at 30 degrees, 30 below.
Well, that was one of the good things. The thing is, the whole first half we shot in Colorado, and then the second half, once it gets nighttime, we actually shot on a soundstage in Los Angeles. Because once the sun went down, we didn't need to be in Colorado anymore because you can't see shit out the windows. But what we did though was, the weather would go up and down in Colorado. So sometimes we'd get breath and sometimes we wouldn't. Usually when we were outside, we got breath. But once we were actually on a soundstage in Los Angeles, we could actually refrigerate the set. So we got breath every fucking minute. Every time they talked, there was always breath. But that was great because it was nighttime, so it was supposed to be even colder. Well, no, they don't. No, they were always drinking hot tea, so their breath was always there. And I loved it because it punctuated every one of my lines.
So, unfortunately, we do have another show. I feel like we could talk for another 3-4 hours, but we have time for the ultimate question. Like this is the
Who's got
best
the
question.
best question? Hold
Best
up
question
2
in the room.
hands so we know. Who's got the best question? Ooh, the guy in the middle says hold up 2 hands.
Yeah, that's the best question. If it's not, we're gonna go to the next
No,
question.
we go to the next guy.
Veto away. First of all, my actual name is Jody, so thank you for naming it.
Oh, you got it. Hey, I like that name for a man.
So, race plays a huge role in all of your movies. I just want you to talk a little bit about race and why it's so important in all the movies today.
Yeah, race in this movie, especially, the characters, the different characters, the different backgrounds, was that part of the point of the story?
Best question in the room?
No, that's a pretty good question.
Okay, let's do
Pretty
it.
good question, yeah. Well, the thing about it is, I think when it comes to Westerns, I actually think that's one of the things that I have to offer to the genre, is for the most part, race has been ignored in Westerns, in a genre that should be dealing with it, all right? After a certain point in time in the 50s, they dealt with Indians and white folks and stuff, but it's never really been it wasn't dealt with in the spaghetti westerns at all, and you don't want them to. They would have fucked it up. They didn't understand. But the thing about it was, race and slavery and all that stuff has always been not only ignored, they bend over backwards to ignore it. And even if it was dealt with in a one-off, one-shoot thing, it was never followed up with anything. It was always, it existed on its own. This Jim Brown cowboy movie, this Fred Williamson cowboy movie, or something like Charlie One Eye, which is a very good movie. I like the movie. But they don't really get down and dirty. They don't really deal with it. They're kind of afraid of it. And I'm not. And so part of the thing about it is, it's actually one of the things I think I have to offer to the Western genre, is to deal with that in a big way. And the thing about it is, I wasn't trying necessarily to write this story that, oh wow, this will really kind of play like today. This is almost like today. I wasn't thinking like that at all. That is kind of part of the thing in Westerns though. The Westerns of the 70s really bring to mind the 70s. The Westerns of the 50s bring to mind an Eisenhower era. But then I did this movie, and then as we're shooting the movie, there's all these events that keep happening in real life on the news that us and the cast are watching. We're like, God, can you believe it? We weren't really trying to make a relevant movie as far as torn from the headlines, but then maybe not quite that relevant, but it's like but it touches base to some of the stuff that's going on today. And the problems that we still have in America to this day were set back then, and they haven't been dealt with yet.
Thank you for dealing with it.
Thank you for coming on. We love you.